Level 90, Lunar Conspiracy. Nashu Makaracha awaits your approach like a butterfly poised to set off a hurricane. Tilly, I have a new lead, and just as I promised, you're the first to know. Before we get into details, though, I should give you back your soul container. I gave it a good scrub first, of course, being the gentleman that he is. I'm sure the inspector wouldn't want to leave any lingering spiritual odors. There, now you can listen to my findings without having distracting thoughts like, when is Nashu going to give me back my soul container? Now, as for the lead I mentioned, I was thumbing through a periodical and found an article on alien abduction. The way it was described was almost exactly what happened to the inspector. It even had a little diagram of a man swimming in midair. Anyway, the author seemed convinced that the victim had been taken to the moon. This crackpot theory sounds awfully familiar. Why does this sound like the kind of rubbish that Thavnarian Truth publishes? That's because it is. You remember Dorian, the editor in briefs? He was the one who wrote it. And he plans on doing research for the next edition on the moon itself. Apparently there's a portal or something in Garlemald that will take you straight there. Oh, but a world-hopping adventurer like you must have been to the moon already. Know it like the back of your hand, I bet. I thought so. It'll be nice to have an expert guide up there to help me search for clues. What say you? To the moon, Nashu. We shouldn't be so quick to thrust the nonsensical ramblings of a man who sees aliens in every shadow. To the moon, Nashu. Right, I'll start packing my bags. I don't know what the weather is like on the moon, but I remember Garlemald being a bit chilly the last time I was there. Broken glass. Oh, it's much colder than I remembered. I sure hope this lunar gate is close. Tower of Babel? You mean that big spiky spire? Well, we definitely shouldn't get lost on the way there. Let's get moving. Where is she? All the way up here? I don't have flight yet. It'll take a minute. Where's this lead? Oh yeah, that's the only way up. All right, I guess we're just gonna have to hoof it. This would be a lot quicker with flight or a riding map. Well, we were only going to do the first part, but we have to do the second part before we can unlock the weapons. So, this is what we're doing. Otherwise, we're just wasting tombstones. No, we did all the field aether currents. We just haven't done the quest related ones. And we would have done that first, but then this would take too long. Right, we're almost there. So, this thing will send us up to the moon just like that? Courage, Nashu. The world is in grave danger, and the people deserve to know. I have to reach the moon so I can expose the truth. As I have explained to you twice already, I can only allow passage to the authorized travelers, which you are not. Ah, you're with them, aren't you? The aliens have infiltrated every layer of our society. What in blazes are you talking about? I'm Dalmascan, born and raised. Oh, look, it's Dorian, the editor in briefs. That's Delian, editor in chief. Thank you very much. And if you were friends of the abducted, I believe. Silly greetings. Are you acquainted with this man by any chance? He exposited in my direction once. No, nor am I affiliated with him in any way, shape, or form. And that was enough, I'd wager. He has trouble written all over him. Zilly as in Zilly Lazathi, slayer of gods, savior of Ishgard, liberator of provinces, stealer of pants. How did I fail to recognize such an unbelievably famous individual? As a champion of the people, you have a duty to lead us through this fact-strangling checkpoint. We cannot let your comrade's abduction go unsolved. He needs you, and the world needs my next article. And you believe he was taken to the moon? Well, that certainly sounds like an emergency to me. Your acquaintance here seems sincere in his desire to help, so I will grant him special dispensation to accompany you just this once. You may proceed to the Nethergate. Mysterious forces have thrust us together, and though I trust the fates about as much as I trust that obviously compromised gate guard, I will leave no moonstone unturned. The truth is up here, up there. So. Ooh, the moon is just as white and shiny up close, but not made of cheese, and no sign of Inspector Hildibrand either. So we've already arrived. The Empire's technology is more advanced than I feared. Over there, the aliens have built some kind of forward base on the lunar surface. We must sneak in and blow the lid on their invasion plans. Looks like Dorian has a lead. Come on, we should follow him. Oh, the Watcher. Aliens, honest to God's aliens. I never expected them to be so tall or so small and bunny like. Welcome. If I had known I was receiving so many visitors, I would have sent for more tea. A voice speaking inside my head. I don't know the words, but their meaning is clear. Are they wielding psychic powers to try and brainwash me? You all right there, friend? Need help with anything in particular? And this one speaks our tongue fluently, learned it from the Charlian collaborators, I'll wager. Don't think you'll fool me. What with your adorable bunny nose and silken ears, I'll print the truth before you arrive to beguile my fellow men. You're one of Urianje's friends, aren't you? I'm not sure who or what put such odd ideas into your companion's head, but would you mind setting him straight for me? The Loporits are not alien invaders, although their adorableness does belie their capacity for shenanigans. Loporits are allies of all mankind, misguided attempts to make us live off carrots alone notwithstanding. They got to you, didn't they? I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. I've heard the rumors about the disbanded Scions of the Seventh Dawn. The formerly secret society has in truth become all the more secret that it may pull our leaders strings from the shadows. Hold it right there, mister. I won't stand here and listen to your slander, Zilly, or this lovely bunny any longer. You better not libel them neither. I actually came in search of Inspector Hildibrand, a dashing gentleman who we think was brought here by shiny flying saucer. You wouldn't happen to have seen either of them around here, would you? I'm afraid I've seen neither. Long was it my duty to keep watch, but as the need for constant vigilance has since ended, I have grown accustomed to idleness. It's rather refreshing, really. Anyway, perhaps the Loporits may have observed this man or his abductor. I feel I would have remembered if I had. The others might have seen something, though. Why don't you take why don't I take you over to Bestway's burrow and you can ask them about it yourself? Sounds like a wonderful idea. Please lead the way. Nothing else, getting an eye full of the facilities we built for the benefit of mankind should help reassure your suspicious friend there. I doubt it. So many bunnies. They can build a forward base on this scale, then what hope does mankind have against them? Oh, for the love of carrots, this is not a military operation. Do you see any cannons or assault craft? We haven't any weaponry at all. Take your time and chat with whomever you like. As for me, I've got perfectly innocuous and not at all nefarious things to do. Bye now. Right, then let's get on with the investigation. Hashu and Delion are now accompanying you. Keep them at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave your quest companions behind by entering a different area by speaking with them and selecting the option to part ways. If you wish to have your companions join you again, return and speak with them at the original location. Discuss the etherite. Look, they even have an etherite here. An etherite? A convenient tool for meeting with their Charlayan co-conspirators, no doubt. Oh, they'll tell you aetherites were an elegant invention, but it was really just one of many alien technological secrets received in exchange for their undying loyalty. Link pearls, too. Be careful on what you say on those private calls. The Charlians are always listening. Oh, I often stretch my legs out there under the stars, but I can't say I've noticed anything out of the ordinary. Sorry. Not to worry, we'll try our luck elsewhere. Thank you. Furry-faced liars, a lot of them. They're probably hiding an entire fleet of alien attack craft. Discuss the machinery beneath the floor. Boy, that's a big fan. It must get hot in here. Discuss the machinery beneath the floor. Propulsion engine, of course. This is no mere moon. You know, the satellite upon which we stand was never a natural celestial body, right? It was a grand fabrication of the ancients. They were in contact with aliens even back then, but the purpose of their ambitious construction has eluded us until now. It's obvious that the moon is a colossal starfaring vessel. You're not all wrong. Oh, ever since we built the Excitotron 6000, we get all kinds of people around here. Could you describe your missing friend in a bit more detail? Well, he's very gentlemanly and dapper, if you look past the almost certainly tattered state of his clothing. Though their fashion sense can be a bit eclectic, our visiting adventurers are always dressed impeccably. Not to be rude, but I have a feeling your friend would have stood out in that crowd. He's probably strapped to a table somewhere, even as we speak, enduring unspeakable experiments. From what I've pieced together so far, the giant alien is the master, and all these smaller xeno bunnies are artificial life forms created to serve as minions in his army. Their harmless appearance is part of the strategy. As soon as you let your guard down, snap, they take you down like a pack of tiny herbivorous wolves. Dorian has some interesting theories, doesn't he? Being nibbled to death by a mob of cuddly bunnies doesn't sound like a bad way to go. Mm-hmm. No gentleman in ragged clothes, I'm afraid, but I did spot an object in flight that I couldn't immediately identify. It was while I was out gathering materials in south of Mare Lamentorum. I presumed it was just some elegant relic or new species of floating jellyfish and didn't think too much of it. Boy, now that sounds promising. Thank you for your time. What's this, then? A pod for growing new Xeno bunnies? They must plan to produce them in millions and overwhelm us with sheer fuzzy numbers. How could I have been so blind? Those aren't ears, they're psychic wave generators. They lure people close with their precious little faces, then bam, brainwashed. I figured it all out, alien scum, and once the world reads my special edition, your dreams of domination will be done for. Ha. What a strange and oddly aggravating man. Is he a friend of yours, too? He thinks he's a friend to the people, but I don't think any people are his friends. Ouch. Hey, let's get out there and find that flying object. Do you know which direction is south? Wait, I'm coming with you. Don't leave me alone with the brainwashing Xeno bunnies. I was like way down here. Oh, we can just take Argos to that. Up we go. Mm-hmm. Across the chasm. Brutal. Search for the flying object. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out, target a likely suspect, and inspect it with right trigger A. Delion. Ooh. Shadow. Rocks above head. There we go. Okay. Ah, there it is. There goes. Come on, we can't let it get away. We did it, Zilly. We found the inspector. Case closed. Horrendous. Only aliens could subject a man to such a callous and physically implausible fate. That's new. Are my eyes playing tricks on me, or do you see a whole field of planted Hildebrands? Well, well, what a delightful surprise to see you here, wherever here happens to be. My, what an impressive specimen of a gentleman you are, good sir. Same could be said of you, my good man. They're multiplying. Is this an extemporaneous gentleman's club? If I may be so bold as to join you. They get tea from. What in the name of the occult is happening here? Where did they all come from? They're phantom Hildebrands created by the refraction of starlight through swamp gas. Could be their Hildibrand clones grown in an alien laboratory's flesh vats. With phantom Hildibrand. Imposters, you mean? Don't worry, I know just how to find the real inspector. Cease and desist, Nashu. Use your powers of deduction, not destruction. They're also authentic and synchronized. I honestly can't tell the difference. Well, look no further, for I am the one and only Hildibrand, agent of inquiry and inspector extraordinaire. The one and only? I believe that would be me, good sir. How odd, I think you will find that I am the original Hildibrand. Oh, and I am more than certain that I am Hildibrand. As am I. Could it be that we are all Hildibrand? Some way we are all Hildibrand. How positively marvelous. I propose we celebrate this auspicious moment as only a mob of Mandeville men can. Good dance number, huh? What manner of waking nightmare is this? Gotta throw a moonwalk in there, huh? Flashbacks. Apologies for the confusion, my friends. I assure you that this time you stand in the presence of inimitable Hildibrand Hillador Maximilian Mandeville. And this diminutive blue chap here is my new associate, Master Poo Poo. Another alien species. Of course, you're building a clone army to invade our star, and what we stumbled upon was a field test. I do not believe we've had the pleasure, my excitable fellow, but I promise you that the amicable Master Poo Poo has no desire to wage any clone wars. Then what's this all about? Are you telling me you weren't abducted? Simple misunderstanding. We can get the echo. Oh, ho, ho, ho. What a charming little rascal you are, an offshoot of the Mandragora family, perchance. Poo poo, poo 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 poo, poo 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 poo. Poo, poo. Ah, I see. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Master Poo Poo. Might I inquire as to our current whereabouts? I had but recently reunited with Nashu and Zilly and would greatly appreciate if you could convey me back to my prior location. Splendid. Full speed ahead, my dear fellow. Steady on. Now, this is not what I had in mind. My word, you've generated a veritable battalion of identical gentlemen. Surely the world could never safely contain so much pure Mandevillian magnificence. Could you perchance reverse the process? Damn, that's a big one. Oh, gods, no, not like that. Mummy! Thus I have concluded that Master Poo Poo is of no grasp has no grasp of the common tongue, and his true intentions, while surely peaceable, remain woefully unclear. It was only through frenzied gestures that I managed to direct him back here and have him clean up our Mandeville multiplicity incident. Poo Poo, I hail Poo 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 from a star, Poo Poo, a great distance from here. Poo Poo, I came in search of a friend whose communications halted mid-exploration. All this way to aid a comrade in distress, you say? You have a case. The devotion, the determination, your touching story has sunk its hooks into my heart. Fear not, my blue-hued friend, for I, Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, have attached myself to this case like a stubborn barnacle on a kraken's behind. I swear to you, here and now, I shall scour all of creation from the deepest pit of the seven hells to the very pinnacle of the heavens. Oh, man. For the missing comrade that you so desperately seek. Very La Habrea. Tell me, Zilly, how is it that you're able to understand Master Poo-Poo's language? Power of echoes. Ah, you mean persistent repetition. It sounds similar to the Mandeville art of parley. So you're saying you have an extrasensory ability that allows communication with aliens. How fascinating. Yes, most fascinating indeed. Pending mysteries aside, I am glad indeed to once more be in the company of my faithful assistant and stalwart contemporary both. Level 90, Lunar Conspiracy, complete. Level 90, The Imperfect Gentleman. Unfazed by events that would shatter the mind of a lesser man, Hildibrand stands ready to begin his next case. So begins the case of the silent correspondent. Not to rain on your parade, but my friend who was somewhere on your star stopped sending me messages. It's not a lot to go on. Spent years investigating the existence of aliens, and recent experiences notwithstanding, they are not that easy to find. You don't know Inspector Hildibrand. He'll solve this case as he's solved countless others with unerring perception and panache. Ah, ha 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 ha. Well said, Nashu. I need but relinquish conscious thought to investigative instinct, and the clues will flow to me forthwith. Lose yourself in the deductive current, Inspector. He's so supportive. You're channeling, aren't you? Contacting a higher power to breach the veil of mystery. Another fascinating development. I think he's fallen asleep. Ah, there you are. I've been looking all over. But you'd like to know that I spotted that chap you were asking about. You know, the well-muscled gentleman with tattered clothing and dazzling teeth. You mean this gentleman? We found him, too. Well, that can't be right. I just saw him in the north of Mare Lamentorum, and he ran the other way when I called out. I don't understand how he could have arrived before me. I have a feeling, Mr. Bunny, sir, that what you saw was an imposter. Would you mind asking Mr. Poo-Poo if he was growing any more inspectors on the moon? Is it going to be Godbert? I only created a single batch, but one did manage to escape the vaporization beam. Oh, okay. The individual's behavior was unpredictable, a flaw in the cloning process, I'm afraid. Well, this won't do at all. We cannot have a flawed inspector running around besmirching the Manderville name. Mr. Poo-Poo, I must ask that we hunt down and liquidate my other self as soon as possible. Might we delay the search for your comrade until the deed is done? Poo-Poo, the imperfect clone was of my making. It is only right that I redress my mistake first. So begins the case of the imposter inspector. Ooh, that does sound exciting. If you don't mind me coming along, I can show you the place where I saw the imposter inspector. He's like way there. Huh? How we end up way down here? Can't fly yet. Nice leisurely flight. Right. I spy with my little eye. No dashingly defective, gentlemen. You can't have made it that far on foot. Why don't we try searching the immediate area, scan the horizon, that kind of thing? Then I suggest we split up so we can cover more ground. Nashu, Zilly, and I will investigate to the west. All right, I'll take those other two and head east. Splitting the party again, and you're leaving me with the aliens? Oh, relax, Bright Eyes. We'll have a nice chat, and I can disabuse you of all those strange conspiratorial notions. Oh, and we can get to know our new friend here. Let us be on our way as well. With Zilly in the van, if you please. Hildibrand and National are accompanying you. Keep them at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave your quest companions behind by entering a different area or by speaking with them and selecting the option to part ways. If you wish to have your companions join you again, return and speak with them at an original location. Get our dialogue option out. Discuss the cradle of darkness. Behold this sublime vista. 'Tis as if the moon herself breathes beneath our feet. Look down there. They have a very own hot spring. My dear Nashu, what are you observing is no hot spring, but a natural reservoir of ceruleum. With such rich resource to hand, it is no wonder they can afford these palatial residences. I'm glad you're here to educate me, Inspector. I was about to take a quick soak. Oh, look down there. They have their very own hot spring. Okay, that's just a repeat. Thought they'd say something different. Did I not click on the right one? No, okay, yeah, no, they just repeat. Okay. You don't have to read it twice. They still follow me if I take my mount out? Thinkers. Goldsmithing hammer is lodged in the thinker's carcass. It appears to have been dealt a single swift killing blow. Godbert's here. Or the bugs grow big up here, don't they? This hammer surely cannot be. Nay, it does not bear thinking about. Come along, nothing to see here. Cross right here. Where do I get across at? Definitely would be quicker if we had flight. So I gotta go around this little bitty area. Discuss the starry sky. Not a single cloud in sight. In fact, I've never seen the night sky so clearly. Now that you mention it, it's been nighttime the entire time I've been here. How much longer until dawn breaks, do you think? What a dazzling display of stars. Not a single cloud in... Okay. So it seems like Hildibrand has like one line and then Ashu, and then they just repeat. Another goldsmithing hammer, another killing blow that bespeaks unparalleled strength. Oh, it looks like he's yawning. The hammer stuck in his head spoils the effect, though. He cannot be here. Why would he be here? That's a goldsmithing tool, isn't it? It does look awfully familiar. And yet completely unrelated to our case. Moving on, people, moving on. A set of gentlemanly tracks leads to the northwest. Ah, and the sand and the snow are in half elm of moon dust. I'd recognize those fancy footprints anywhere. They're a perfect copy of mine. Our fugitive imposter must be just up ahead. Since a gentlemanly presence, he is close, very close. No clones in the northeastern quadrant that we could see. That's clever. Mr. Poo Poo can scout for us from the air. Aha, I found me. Why? Why did I flee? He seemed sad, downcast, very uninspector like. Flawed creation, to be sure. Such negative emotions would never mar the heart of a true Manderville man. There he is. Praise Thou for his patience. 'Twould seem my beloved Hildy has been awoken from his unnatural slumber. Slumber. Abandoning my gentlemen comrades to save myself. My pride is worse, and my pride in worse tatters than my maltreated wardrobe. My fatherly love denied? Unthinkable, unless that is not my son. Get him. It's so goofy. Another of me survived? I'll not turn tail and run this time. No, sir. Hildibrand to the rescue. Round and round as fast as I can. I can't slow down. I'm a Manderville man. Manderville dance of the ephemeral twins. So stupid. So, it's great. Now I know I'm dreaming. That can't possibly be real. That was a little something we were preparing to welcome the people of Aetheris. I almost forgot it was still there. Was it like malfunctioning? Barrage appears to have stopped, but just look at all this junk. Please be sure to pick up your litter before you leave. The moon belongs to everyone, you know. Oh. Hildibrand, Hillador, Maximilian Mandeville, how glad I am to see you up and about. Your mother will be beside herself with joy. I only stand before you now thanks to Nashu, who stood ever vigilant at my bedside, and to Zilly, who ferried my soul back from across the rift. My son is indeed blessed with comrades of quality. You have my heartfelt gratitude. To you, Master Poo Poo, I extend my apologies. In my excitement, I fear I have broken your starship. If there is aught I can do to help effect repairs, you have only to ask. Poo Poo, my vessel experienced a temporary malfunction, but there was no major structural damage. Brings me relief and joy to hear it. Might I have a word? I had actually come to the moon in search of a certain rare ore, and by Thal's good graces, my quest has been successful. The ore, however, is but the first step of a longer saga. Meet me back in Razatan, and I will explain the role I wish you to play. Yes, I think it best we make a journey starwards. We'll not find Master Poo Poo's friend from up here unless someone packed an extremely efficacious spyglass. Anybody? No? Then home it is. For years, I've chased after the supernatural and the inexplicable, but to encounter so much of it in such a short span of time, my mind still reels from the implications. Yet I must keep my gaze focused beyond the veil. A chance like this comes only once in a lifetime. Ah, how lovely to be back on the star of my birth. Father did not tarry to chat, but said something about returning here with a trusted employee. Well, we've no time for further familial pleasantries. Nashu and I must devote all our mental energies to the case of the silent correspondent. My keen inspector's sense impels me to begin our search in that direction. Make haste, my companions, for justice waits for no man, not even one who is little and blue. Inspector, wait, can't justice make an exception for me? His channeling appears to be remarkably effective. Fascinating, yes, most fascinating indeed. Forgive me, I seem to have been laboring under a misconception. After spending some time with the Xeno bunnies, it has become clear to me that they have not the slightest intention of invading our star. They are no threat to us. But he is. You know of whom I speak, the devious Master Poo Poo and his diabolical devices devised solely for world domination. I shall have to investigate him further to learn the intricacies of his plans, but I may require your aid, not to mention your interpretation. I'll even pay you a retainer fee, so please, when the time comes, join me on my quest for the truth. Ah, Zilly, my apologies for the wait. Shall we proceed to business, then? The task at hand concerns nothing less than family legacy. The recreation of the historically significant and astronomically magnificent Manderville weapons. They were the designs of a distant ancestor. You see, while the originals have long since vanished, a manual containing the secrets of their construction survived, a precious heirloom passed down through generations of Mandervilles. Why the sudden passion for weaponsmithing? Aren't your hammers built for hammering gold? 'Tis true that, as a goldsmith, I've had little occasion for crafting implements of war. Why this project and why now? You may very well ask. Then I shall very well tell you. Tale begins not so long ago. I was here in Rajatan to discuss a deal with an up and coming merchant. The matter in question was an acquisition proposal. At last, the talk soured, so I made preparations to depart. It was then that the sky burst into flame. You know all too well what horrors followed. I did my best to defend the citizenry from the beast which spawned, yet I could not save them all, save far too few, in fact. The memory of it haunted me day and night, and I found myself unable to work, but then I heard the news of how you and your companions had ventured forth to banish this evil at its source. You forged on in the face of deepest despair, and it gave me the courage to do the same. I took a good hard look in the looking glass and asked, what can Gobbert Mandeville do to safeguard the people of this star? Thus did I realize that I had both the knowledge and the skill to forge the greatest weapons that I might empower others to protect themselves and their fellow man. So I began going down the list, acquiring the necessary materials with single-minded purpose. One of these was a goodly chunk of purest mandarium ore, a metal found exclusively in meteorites, and that only rarely. I searched high and low, scouring impact sites and consorting with kobolds, all to no avail. Then, when none was to be found on Heidelin, I set my sights on the moon, where I at last obtained a sizable sample. Now, I say at last, but the list of materials goes on. If I'm to collect the rest in a timely fashion, I must employ the help of a comrade of quality. When you can spare a moment from adventuring or aiding my dear son in his inspecting, pray drop a word in the ear of my manservant here. I shall clear my schedule of trivial interruptions, and we can proceed with the recreation of Manderville weapon forthwith. Level 90, the Imperfect Gentleman, complete. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Razatan, the Dr. Lugi's head. Sound the alarm, a prisoner is escaping. Have another case soon. On solid ground so far out of this world. Beyond the truth lies the weird and absurd. Beloved son, he's second to none, our agent of inquiry, Hildibrand Mandeville. Definitely not an alien clone. See you, Inspector.